the new session which we have as Q&A live. And this time we are also starting Ask My Coachee. I have Amita Malviya with me. For some reason, there is some network challenge and she might come back, or you might be able to see her in some time. Good evening, everyone. Please let me know through the chat whether you are able to hear my voice, whether you are able to hear my voice on all the platforms over there on LinkedIn, Insta, Facebook, and YouTube. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 7:30 Tuesday PM. Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. IST. I am Ridhima Dua, your new code NLP trainer and also a coach over here. We have been doing these sessions with all of you on Ask Me, Ask Ridhima on NLP as well as new code NLP. And we have been getting messages, questions, queries around NLP. We also got great response on people asking that whether can you also help us meet people who have already done NLP. So we have today Amita Malviya with us. Today's live session is focused on how Amita is using NLP and new code NLP with herself. I am still waiting for Amita to technically, there is some challenge which I see. I can't see her clearly, and she might be coming back. She's going to talk about how has she utilized NLP and how has she utilized new code NLP. A little about Amita to all of you is Amita is a founder of CSR Consulting. She's also a mother, a beautiful woman. And hey, Arvind, Amishi, welcome. A beautiful woman, and also utilizing NLP and new code NLP, not even her profession in as an entrepreneur, also utilizing NLP and new code NLP as the person, as an individual, as a woman, and as well as the work which she is doing with people. So I am still waiting for Amita. Hi, Arvind and Amishi. Today's focus is how is Amita using NLP and new code NLP. And then we would also take your questions on NLP. So I would like, hey Anand, happy life to all. Anand is also here. Thank you so much, Anand, for joining in. Can you hear my voice clearly? Anand, Arvind, Amishi. Amita, are you there? Can you hear me, Amita? Amita, can you hear? We are still waiting for Amita to come in. Yes, Amishi, you are right. NLP is already within everything in the life. It's all the time over there. Amita, can you hear my voice? Am I audible? Are you there? People are waiting for seeing you loud and clear. Fantastic. All right. Till then, Amita joins us back. All of you, I am open for all the questions which you have on NLP. It is clear. Thank you, Amishi. I'm open for all the questions which you have on NLP and new code NLP. Amishi is also here. Amishi is also a new code NLP diploma holder, and she is going and she is definitely using a lot of new code NLP with her clients as coach. She can also tell you a lot about new code NLP. You will also see her live very soon with us. Amishi, do you have any question around the work which you are doing with clients and how is it going? Do let know people on the YouTube channel what work are you doing and how is it going with you. Thank you, Amishi. Thank you so much. Okay, we are back. Amita is here.
Hi.
All right.
Good evening. Yes.
Hey, Amita. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you for inviting me, Ridhima. Thank you. Looking forward to this opportunity of meeting everybody here.
Great. Amita, we have Arvind, Amishi, Anand, and many other people with us. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. People are eager to hear you, Amita, on the on the work which you have done with yourself using NLP and New Code NLP. Just to give a frame, I have also let people know that you are using NLP and New Code NLP in professional and personal life. You are a founder of CSR Consulting and as well as a mother of the teenage daughter. Doesn't look like though, right? So over to you, Amita. In between people, you can keep asking questions to Amita and me both. I would like you all to utilize this time to talk to the coachee who is here, talk to her, ask her all those questions which you have. Amita, in between of the questions, I will let you know the questions, all the streams. We have the questions listed. It comes together to us. Okay?
Sure.
Great. So over to you, Amita. Get
Yeah.
started. Your journey, your life, your benefits. What do you think NLP is?
Wow, wonderful. Thank you, Ridhima. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Uh, Amishi, Arvind, Anand, and everybody out there. I'm very excited to be here on this platform and share my experience of NLP with you all because just like you, I was on the other side. It's been hardly 6 months, and I think the transformation has been amazing. Uh, I used to introduce myself as a lot of other things, but now the new avatar of me would like to introduce myself as an NLP practitioner, a learner, a mother, a daughter, and obviously a social entrepreneur, as Ridhima said. Uh, if Since it's a question and answer session, I would just take you to my journey of how I began NLP and where it has brought me. So for me, life used to be very easy and very rewarding, and all my goals were towards happiness of and well-being of me and the people around me. So life for me before NLP was pursuit of happiness. I'm sure you all must have seen that movie. Mine was also like that. I would have goals in my health, fitness, love, relationships, travel, leisure, work, career, self improvement. And as soon as I achieve those goals, I would have a small celebration. I'll celebrate those wins, feel good about it, and then I'll be on to another goal. So it was goal after goal, in pursuit of goals. Like a trekking expedition which you would have, right? Like I want to do K2, then I'm going to do the base camp. So it's a never ending pursuit. And now the new NLP practitioner Amita has a life which is an expression of joy, which is a sheer expression of all the happiness which I have inside me. I mean, my only goal of being on this planet is just to share this happiness with everybody around me. So that's been a biggest, like a change in the lens which I'm now using at looking at my life. And there had been transformation in a lot of areas. I'll talk to you today about three primary areas. One is obviously the relationships, for which I came to NLP and I came to Ridhima and I sought help on. Second is health. I used to be a health freak, with BMI of perfect 20, you know, nothing short. And now I am a health enthusiast. So I look after my well-being and also support everybody around me in their health goals. And that's been my like a biggest satisfaction in my life. That's been like a like a most rewarding experience I've had because of NLP. And third, and the most primary area had been money. Talking about relationships, I'll just share with you a small example of my aunt. Um, before that, let me tell you why NLP happened to me. Okay, so when I came to this town, which is Bhopal, which is city of lakes, very beautiful town, I had been going through a lot of transformation. I became a social entrepreneur. I was a corporate employee for almost 2 decades. I was a mother, always had been a mother, but now I'm living in an extended family. It's a joint family environment. I've been pretty independent all my life. Never used to ask what is to be made for dinner. That was never a question which I would have in my life. but now it's a very much part of and an important part of my life. Um, Transition from a metro city of Mumbai to Bhopal, uh, from a full-time mother to now a mother who talks to her daughter only when it's required. Because my daughter is now almost 17, she is in her 12th grade, obviously very busy with studies and uh, you know studies and all the project works and the friends, which are more important part of her life. So I was going through all this transformation, and NLP helped me with those transformations. And the examples I would like to share with you would give you a small brief of how it helped me. So my aunt was a total epitome of, how generally you would classify somebody who is kind of, just taking life as if it's like not worth, you know. She would eat whatever she would want to eat. She would get up at whichever time. She would pay very little attention to herself. And the health freak inside me, the old Amita, used to shriek out, internally though, that, Aunt, please change yourself, do this, do that. And then I entered Ridhima, and she guided me, and she never gave me a straight answer for anything. Okay, I'll tell you this straight up. You're never going to get anything out of her. But I started my calibration and rapport building exercise with her in the month of April. And immediately, as soon as I started practicing it with my aunt. And soon I discovered that her source of happiness was something else. And I'll tell you, we have had a lot of sessions where we have prepared a lot of dishes. She has enjoyed her pickle making with me. We have redecorated house. We have, done a lot of things to our temple, small temple. We've done a lot of activities together. And one
Mm.
fine day, what I found her doing is tying the lace of her new shoe.
Ah,
That's the biggest first step. Okay, and that was like an eye opener for me, that okay, this is the way to do it. I was doing it, my intentions were always good, but
of
I was
course.
doing it in a very different manner. So her doctor's visit used to be every week. Now we have not gone to the doctor from past 3 months. Okay. And before she is like dishing up the dinner and all that, she ensures that she has had at least an hour of walk, even though inside the house right now, but I think it's a very big step for her. And now she notices what all she's eating, and she tells me that, Amita, I should not have curd in the night. I said, how did you
Ah,
figure that? And she said, when I was not having it, I was feeling very fresh the other day. And I'm like, okay, wow, that's a a good learning for you as well as for me. And there have been a lot of such things which I've received back from her from this experience with her. So that's a bit about the relationship piece. Now coming to the the another aspect, and health, obviously. In the relationship, actually, I have one very interesting one which I had with my daughter. And in fact, I joined NLP for the very same reason, because people say that teenagers are tough, and they have this mood swing, and they stop communicating with their parents after a while. And I was also fearful. My daughter was always coming to me and asking me, Mama, how to do this and that. But I never wanted that change. And I think NLP has helped me with overcoming that fear as well. And now we have this beautiful technique, which we call Wonder Girl technique or Wonder Woman technique, And I'm again giving a fancy technique name to you. It's called Circle of Excellence in NLP. It's a classic code, technique, but my daughter calls it Wonder Woman technique. And she uses it every time she goes for any kind of new test or exams, any new learning experience. And she tells me that, Mama, as soon as I go for it, I hear your voice. And I imagine the Wonder Woman in front of me. In fact, very similar experience I had with one of my niece who practices alphabet game, which is coming from the new code NLP. And she used to be a very social, outwardly person, very good in studies and everything. But she was constantly being compared to her elder sibling, who was very, studious, sincere, little geeky. And as you would have in any siblings, so she would go defensive, then she would start talking a lot of things, and then she would go suddenly mum. So I thought of just giving her a taste of this game, and she uses that. And now, whenever anybody or anybody from the family or friends talk or compare her with her sister, she sits and she enjoys it and she participates in that discussion. So that's like it's like a fun time for all of us in the family when that happens. These are like small snippets from my personal life which have changed and which have given a lot of meaning to my life. Another biggest area for me was money. So I had always looked at money as a means to happiness for me and for my family. It was a tool which gave me an opportunity to provide for my people, gift people whom I love, and also do a lot of my charity work. But I came to know about my intentions behind my working or behind this hectic corporate life when I learned about verbal package from Carmen and from Ridhima. And now again, I'm giving you a fancy technique. Okay, even though it sounds complicated, believe me, it's the most user friendly, most simple of the technique. And how it helped me is it helped me compartmentalize the two things for me. Now this could be very different for different person. Okay, for me, money and career were two very different things, and that was the biggest light bulb moment for me, that I don't see money and career in the same bucket. So I split the two. And I realized that I wanted money to be like a flow for me, like a stream where I can give money and where I can take money easily. So giving money was never a problem for me. But taking money, I always used to think whether I'm worth it, whether I'm deserving of this. And I am telling you from my experience of 8 years of sales, So before my social entrepreneurship, I had been in sales for sales of IT solutions, and before that, development. So coming from a sales background and then really thinking hard that whether I'm worth this money, and I had been an overachiever, best salesperson, you name it, the awards, I would. It's like like the perfectionist on the play when I'm in that zone. But I was feeling like that, whether I was worthy or not. But now, what I did was slowly and very, I sat with myself. I realized the hows and what behind my this particular, this very important work area for me. And now I have started moving my expenses to my investments. It is a long journey, okay, just still on. But I can tell you right now, money is not an it's not a tool for me. It's like it comes to me automatically. I have a lot of sources of passive income, and I know that even though if I don't feel like working for a month or so, I can easily be sure that all my people, everybody in my family and my team will be provided for. So that has taken a lot of work. It's been a 6 months work so far. I am still working on it. It's work in progress, but it's a very doable and a very very rewarding experience because of this technique which Ridhima gave to me. So I look at her almost next to the God. You know,
Oh,
she's
that's
transformed my life wonderfully from pursuit of happiness to expression of happiness. And I know for sure that if this is the outcome you are seeking, then you have come to the right platform. All the best to you, and my compliments to you for joining us here, and looking forward to our interaction.
great. I am so excited. I'm actually very excited, like feeling like jumping. Wow! You did the great job. Yay! It sounds so amazing, isn't it? People who are listening as well, that she has actually changed her perception towards all these three areas, whether it is relationship, whether it is health, or whether it is about money. I mean, she was the one who was doing fantastic at her work. It's not that she wasn't, but then her perception of now I am worth of receiving as well, and I'm open to receive, and it's just multiplying from expenses to investment is a very interesting and a very deep shift which has happened. That's so amazing. I feel like wow. Cham, cham, cham. Okay, I would ask you, Amita, if you have to tell people who doesn't know NLP, yeah, if you have to tell them that why they should be doing NLP, what all can they do? Because there's so many people out there still who doesn't know the concept, and you have so simply, I would say, let me take this time to tell them. She has put so simply all the concepts which she has utilized. One, for building relationship at a deeper level, with very simple examples of the aunt, wherein she was actually telling the aunt to do what she wants to do. And when we go and tell people, suddenly it just doesn't happen. And she influenced them very indirectly without they even knowing that she influenced them indirectly, just like that. Using pacing as a technique, that's one of the examples. The other example which she has given is using New Code NLP, because she's also a New Code NLP diploma now. She has done the whole international coaching certification also with John, Michael, and Carmen. She has been around with people who are globally connected, and there she was there in the satellite program in India with us. And that was one of the work which we did together. It was very transformative, all of you. And she's talking about that work which she did using new code NLP process, using alphabet game with the knees. She creating a state change, or using some other processes which is circle of excellence. In fact, she has made her own wonder girl technique to suit the daughter, and she's using this in and out with her life. So I would like all of you to ask whatever questions do you have for Amita, for her to know, for her to answer about different questions which you have in your mind. My question to you, Amita, again comes back. How would you like people who doesn't know NLP to decide that yes, they should do NLP? Because you and me know. How would they decide that?
Okay, so I will tell you quite frankly, neither my aunt nor my niece nor my daughter would know the full form of NLP. They would say, Mama does NLP, and she does a lot of NLP, but they wouldn't know what it means. And for me, the choice which I have taken is not to explain them what is NLP, but to do NLP with them. And for me, also to practice NLP rather than getting into the definitions of NLP, because I think it's the most complicated and the longest of all journey you would ever take in your life. Okay, because it's never ending. The way you can implement and enhance your life with this tool, which is so powerful, is it's like lifelong. It's not going to end, and it started long back when we were born, right? So Ridhima always says that babies are the natural modelers, and we seem to forget those skills, you know so baby does not know about NLP, but I think if we have to learn NLP, that's where we need to look at, right? So for anybody who is new to NLP, I think rather than getting into the explanations of it, I would invite you to join any of the webinars, and it would be even better if you join the course with us, and we will show you how it's done, and then you experience it yourself. That would be my suggestion and my answer to that.
Great. I am so excited because the time when she joined and the way she is now, she's actually talking what I always tell people. It's so amazing to hear. I second that. Thank you so much for putting that across once again to all the people from your side, because it really is very important for people to know from you as a person who is recently started. It's been 7 months, but 7 months seems like that's been years of work which we have been doing. We have been challenging Amita in different points at different levels. Yes, she's right. I don't give you an answer. I do challenge you, and that's my job. If you don't like me when I challenge you, it's absolutely okay with me. But then I know it will work, and the way it has worked with Amita so much. Great. So you really believe that people can start doing NLP rather than reading or YouTubing or just talking about it?
Oh yes, I strongly believe that. I know there is a lot of material out there. I had been the IT solution salesperson. I know there are a lot of YouTube videos, there are a lot of books you can read. But even John Grinder, he himself says that you can read my first book, which is Structure of Magic. But there are a lot of non-verbal aspects, which are very, it comes with a lot of practice. And as they say that, in any skill, knowledge you can acquire by reading and by self work, but if you are learning a skill, it is always advisable to have a mentor along. And I think the mentor I have got, I'm going to keep her for life. And I would suggest you have a mentor along, because then you would learn the nuances of this new skill set. And they are very subtle aspects. It's not a rocket science, it's a very simple technique. Even a person who is non-HR like me, no coaching background, no philosophy background. In fact, sometimes when she gives the answer to certain things, I'm like looking up and like, God, please help me. So those were my initial reactions. I think it is for everybody and anybody, and you don't need to get into the language and the explanation. I think the best way is to just start doing it. That
Start
would be
doing
my,
it.
yeah.
Great. Lovely. Amita, I have a question from Anand to you. So before I ask the question, viewers, let me also tell you, after the course, Amita has put in so many number of hours for practice as well. It's not only the course which she is talking about, it's the kind of practice which she has also gone through with us during the whole course. And she's been committed to be there in the practice, to utilize those techniques, and to practice, practice, practice. In fact, her journey of practice has also made her as a mentor with our coaches, and she's now, exact, thank you so much for that. She's now coaching our people and hand holding people so that they can also transform. And I think if we can create a community like this wherein there are mentors available who are not really giving the advice but using the processes of NLP which we have, and challenging them the way John teaches us, if we can do some part of it, some bit of it at least, also, then also the transformation or the process of coaching, one, can be cleaner, which I'm always looking forward to, and second, can be very, very, very effective, very, very effective, very, very powerful. Amita, as a mentor, you have a question by Anand. And Anand is asking how to keep high performance state throughout.
Okay. In fact, high performance state or the coach state for me had been a big challenge. Ridhima is already aware of it. And the technique which helped me was NASA game. It was like a turning point for me. And that's the first time I actually experienced it. And Ridhima had to actually physically move me from that state, onto the context when that happened. So, and now also, I think I can go in the same zone whenever I want to. I can just micro muscle and go and get that zone back where I was on that particular day. And as she said, like, you have to keep on practicing. Practicing is the biggest, biggest reward. I think biggest input from your side as a coachee. Uh, and obviously, the mentor is going to guide you with that. But to get a high performance state, first you need to actually be in the high performance state for once. You can utilize any of the techniques of NLP, experience it, and micro muscle it. Whenever you want it, it is on demand. A lot of my meetings, I actually practice it just few minutes prior, and it is actually on demand. It's like a switch, just like how you switch on the light. That's how it is. It's so simple as that. But before that happens, you have to learn and then practice, practice, practice. That's the key.
Okay, Anand, please let us know if your question has been answered. I am writing the answers on the Restream chat. It is going on YouTube, on Facebook, but I'm not sure whether it is going on LinkedIn, Amita. So I don't know. Maybe some technical issue. Anand, please let us know if the question has been answered. Viewers, what she actually spoke about is a very strong work. It's very deep work. She said state on demand, if you all heard it very clearly. If you have any other question for Amita, please write the question. I will just give you some more explanation on what she just said. I'm waiting for all of your questions. You can ask questions to me or to Amita. You can direct it directly to Amita or you can direct it to me. And feel free to ask any question which is coming to you around NLP or rather New Code NLP. Great. Thank you so much, Anand. I wanted to talk to all of you about what she just said, state on demand. So she mentioned that even if it is just a minute before her meeting, she can get into the state with the set intention. For example, if she is going into a meeting wherein she is meeting her stakeholders, and there is an intention which she has set with the stakeholder, this is what she would like to express or give a frame on, and she set the state, that's all, and the intention. Am I right, Amita?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
And then the unconscious, because we have practiced new code so much, the unconscious just suddenly takes it over. We don't need to be conscious about it, anything. It just happens. It just takes care of it. And the example which she has given is one of the very interesting process. She loves it. I love it. Both. It's a process of new code which you will learn when you will do the new code. It's called NASA. It's created by John Grinder in New Code NLP. It's coded and tested, and it's a beautiful work by him on that. So thank you so much, Amita, to utilize that work. Yeah, it was that day when you were there, and the way it happened was amazing. The second thing, Amita, which you also spoke about, a lot of people who have done NLP might have heard about micro muscle mirroring, or micro muscle movement. A lot of people who are new to NLP might have not heard about. So I will just touch upon that. And then you also said that you just do a micro muscle of that particular thing, and then the state just appears, right? So for people who doesn't know NLP, micro muscle is very simple. I have given a small example of football, which would be live tomorrow, which was there in the webinar, recent webinar, which I was delivering. It's like when any small kid is learning football by a coach, and the coach is practicing and hitting the ball, and the kid is observing that how is my son kicking, or passing it or throwing it, etc. The kid is so open to learn that the kid is learning at a very unconscious level, seeing it, doing it, and the kid learns the micro muscle which the coach is actually performing. It's like the way the coach keeps his leg, the way he keeps the feet, turns with the pressure. All of this is basically micro muscle movements. So the kid makes this small, tiny micro muscle movement inside himself without actually knowing that he's doing it, because he's just learning with all the fun, creativity, openness, etc. That kind of a state which he has, and he suddenly performs it. He goes on say field, right? So when he goes on the field, when there is a specific kind of a kick which is being to be made for getting that goal, he suddenly does it by making that shift in the body, a small shift, right? That tiny shift, that small shift which he's unconsciously making in the body, he's already trained his brain to do that. He's making that small tiny shift and he has met the goal. We are utilizing that kind of concept of learning micro muscle. And what she's talking about is that if she has played a game, if you have played that particular process, you would just do a tiny shift in the body, which is also can be set unconscious. You can just do a tiny shift and then you would get that state back inside yourself, and it just happens. It is at a very broader level. I would come back to application in very simple terms. You're going for an exam tomorrow, you want the state, get the state, period. If you want any kind of a state wherein you are going and meeting your clients, you want the state, get the state. It's as simple as that. Viewers, this is the way she's actually giving an example on. This is the way she's talking about it. Amita, you can continue to talk to viewers about the reason of the difference between the classic code and the new code. A lot of people who could be practitioners listening to you, they do not know much about the difference between classic code and new code. And what made you also to choose new code? I would come back, Amita. I have my son and I have no one to open the door.
Sure,
So
sure.
I will
Please
come back.
carry
Yeah.
on. Please carry on. So the new code and the classic code. The difference is, I had stayed in Japan for almost 4 years. So I would say it's a normal train and a Shinkansen. So it's like a bullet train and a normal train. That's the difference. The journey pretty much remains the same. The destinations are the same, which we are looking at, but the speed and the performance of it is at another level with Newport NLP. And there were a lot of other examples which I shared in the last talk which we had. But I think the way I see it is it's like at a very it works at an unconscious level, and it is so much in your practice now that you don't even have to make an effort to do anything. It happens in an auto mode in new code NLP. So earlier, let's say if I give an example of my daughter's wonder girl technique. So she thinks about it, she hears my voice, and then she starts utilizing that technique, and then she gets a state. While Ridhima just mentioned about unconscious signal work, wherein we actually give the entire responsibility onto the unconscious, and the unconscious takes over. Whenever you are in that context, automatically, it happens instantly, like you won't even notice, and your unconscious will present you with the choices which you wanted to have to be in that high performance or most optimized state. So it's like an auto work. It happens so smoothly, so organically, and at such a fast speed that you don't need to make a conscious effort of visualizing and experiencing and all that. But obviously it takes a lot of practice. It is much more of practice work than the earlier classic code. So classic code, I think a lot of techniques I would have practiced like once or twice. I'm sorry, Ridhima. But I think if I have to do a new code, any of the games, and actually utilize it in my personal life, I think minimum 5 to 6, and in different situations, minimum. That's like a minimum. So yeah, it takes lot more dedication on your part, lot more resources, lot more time, but it's a speed work. It's an instant work,
Like that.
like on demand work. Yes.
On demand, quickly. Yes, absolutely. Correct. We are coming towards the end of this show. I would like people to view this recording if you want on any of our channels, whether YouTube, whether Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Again, we are unable to see the viewers on the Instagram, and we know there are so many. So, hello to everyone over there. You can keep asking questions on my Insta Messenger as well. I'm happy to answer all your questions. Amita is also there to answer your questions. What Amita just now mentioned is a core difference. This difference really help can really help practitioners also to understand that how can they utilize new code work in coaching. Would you recommend people who have done NLP classic code practitioners to do new code, NLP? Hey Saurabh, hi.
Hi, sir. Oh yes, absolutely. If you want to stop, then it's again a choice. And generally, how I see these courses, and before Ridhima also, I had been to a lot of platforms, and I think when you are ready at that instant, you see something and you suddenly feel like, oh yeah, I want to do it. So I'm sure once you are in the classic code, you will have that feeling. As soon as you are done with that, you would want to experience the new code. And that's my challenge to you, that you try to hold yourself back, but I think you won't be able to, because that's like a journey which would be in the auto mode for you. So if you have done a classic code, I think new code is experience which you must have. But that's my personal opinion. I'm sure once you experience it, you'll not be able to resist learning more, and that's how I think that you will go for new code nevertheless.
Do you think that people can use new code in their profession when they are working?
Oh yes, absolutely. New code, classic code. These are the life skills, which we had forgotten, which we already had as a kid, as a baby, and we had forgotten. and it has applications in your relationships, your health, your your money matters. In case you are an athlete, there are people who have done great work, and that has been possible only because of the high performance state they were in at that moment. And with NLP, the NLP gives us the tools and techniques to carry that forward in all our different facets of life. And I think, again, it's a learnable skill. It does not take any kind of pre work. So I think what you guys are waiting for. Join us on the other side.
Interesting. So with pre-work, you mean that whether the person has no psychology background, no philosophy background, nothing, but then also the
That's
person
me.
can.
Yeah.
That's you. That's me.
Yes.
Also, the person can use it for creating state. And let me give viewers into it. Anyone who is in profession, whether you are meeting your team members, whether you are thinking to motivate your team, whether you are in sales and thinking about increasing your revenue, whether you are as CEO thinking about having more clarity and more different visions aligned to your team or to get something new, which is to be aligned, whether you are in any kind of a counseling or a psychologist, or whether, as absolutely you said, sports coaching, or whether you are not doing any profession, but then at a very personal level also, you can use these tools to transform yourself in simple ways. Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, at all levels. That's a simple way to put it across to all of you in this small talk. We have a very detailed 2 hour session, Amita. Just wanted to announce to all of them, whosoever is hearing or whosoever would watch this later, we have our 2 hour session on NLP and how to become a coach using NLP. This is going to happen the next Tuesday, which is on 28th of September, 7 p.m. IST to 9 p.m. IST. Please make sure that you have no distractions. Just focus on what we are going to do. Enjoy that time with 2 hours. And then you can, of course, decide what you think about it. Absolutely. Great, Amita. Thank you so much. It was wonderful, really. I think you have penned down the benefits for all the viewers very clearly. Like, health, relationships, money. And when all of this is set using these tools and the state on demand which you are using, and with that, now you're also mentoring people to transform their lives, coaching them to transform their lives. I think you are on a fantabulous journey, and I wish you all the very best. I will look forward to see you again and again to talk to people, to tell them that how simple tools, yet powerful tools, can change their lives.
Yes, thank you so much, Ridhima. Thanks for the opportunity. And I don't think you can really classify it in like it helps only in love, it helps only in relationships, it helps only in. It's like once you are in it, it will be across. You will not be able to stop yourself. You'll be more of yourself in each of these facets. So just experience it and feel the joy of it.
Absolutely. Great. Lovely. Yes. Let's meet people next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is a Zoom webinar. It's not going to be a live show. You will have a link which is available on all my platforms to join. It is a webinar of 2 hours on how to become a coach using NLP, new code NLP. And we're talking about coaching, why coaching, NLP, doing a technique, and new code NLP processes. A bit on that. So that's all we are going to do in the next week. We will keep seeing all of you go through this video once again, hear what Amita is talking about. I wanted to bring this to all as Ask My Coachee, which is going to happen every month, in which one of the coachees, who's also a mentor, is going to come on the platform and talk to people about how are they utilizing it in real practical life. Having said that, we would continue Ask Ridhima as well on Tuesday for the question answers. So, absolutely, we are here to support you and support this community to grow more and more. Thank you so much, viewers. Have a lovely evening. Take care. Ciao. Thank you, Amita.
Thank you. Thank you so
Love to
much.
you. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. See you.